Technique 19 in the Kenpo Karate for Christ Purple Belt curriculum is thundering hammers. Now, I've talked about my favorite techniques. I've talked about 5 swords, how much I like that. I've talked about flashing daggers and how much I like that. This is another one that's like easily in my top 5. Thundering hammers, a lot of fun technique to do, fun technique to learn. One of those that you just never forget once you've seen it. It's just kind of ingrained in there, and it shows up in your forms. Long form 4 would use this thundering hammers idea, and then in the weapons sets as well. The long set and tonfa set, you'll see this thundering hammers idea. So it's important. It shows up several times that way. It's going back to that family of the step through punch, where our arm position now is down. So we're stepping in with an inward block as they do a right step through punch, stepping in there, boom, and advancing, and we're moving to the outside using a left to defend that punch. And the right arm's just down low this way. Now from here, because it could be chambered here, it could be up here, it's part of that family of, depending on where your right arm is, where do we move into the next position with this one. The fun part of this thundering hammers is the thunder starts right away. As you block, I want to use a push drag into them, right? Straight forward. Now we block the punch, so we're already off to the side a little bit. But as you push drag forward, I'm going to use this right arm, really torque my shoulders here. And the forearm part, it's important to use that as your weapon. I'm not punching, I'm not using like a ridge hand type of idea. I'm just hitting with this forearm section right across the gut that way. And as you slide forward, that left hand comes up like this scimitar position, chambered here. As you slide, boom, and you essentially clothesline them right across the stomach as you move in. A moving clothesline. How cool is that, right? Thundering hammer. So we wham! Already this big, both arms just kind of rotating into this position. And they're going to continue that rotation. They're going to hit one way, then they're going to go the other, but big circles through the whole technique that way. So there's a lot of power generated into that, because there's a lot of body torque with the twisting and the arms just creating these big orbits in this technique. And that's why I like thundering hammers. That's why you'll like it too. So we're going to step inward block first for that punch. And then I'm sliding forward, doing forward push drag, boom, hard rotation of the shoulders. I'm bending my knees, coming to more like a close kneel. I don't want to be standing up tall. I'm not trying to do like a forward bow strike. We're dropping down a little bit because this is supposed to go across the abdomen. So close kneel position. Bend the knees, drop down a little, but big rotation there as you hit with that forearm. And as that hits, hopefully knocking their wind out, makes them want to bend forward. My right hand's going to come up. I'm going to use the back of the hand here, this kind of vertical outward hooking parry, but this is to check at his shoulder. Come up over the right shoulder here so that I can help keep him tabletopped. We want to keep him tabletop through this whole technique. So once you hit him in the stomach and they bend forward, keep them there. In fact, help them bend down a little bit if they don't bend far enough with just using that right arm, right? While that happens, the left arm makes this big circle and thunders down with a big hammer fist. And again, my knees are bending. I'm coming to this close kneel position. I'm doing a close kneel here. Both knees bend towards 12 o'clock. When you hit here and turn, close kneel is going to be more towards 3. Boom, and I drop down. Left hand hammer fist strikes down onto the back of their kidney. There. Ideally the right side. Boom. Thunders down that way. From here I'm going to check so they don't stand up, because I want to make a big circle with the right, the hammer fist down to the back of their head. And in the process of doing this big kind of looping hammer fist hits there, or hits onto the, sorry, not the back of the head, the back. I'm going to hit boom, kind of between the shoulder blades with that second hit. But if I don't hold them down after that first hit, they could stand back up while I'm using this big orbit action here. So after we hit with the left hand stays there on their back. Keep them there. Keep them bent, keep them tabletopped. Let the right arm circle around. Boom, drop that down hard. Hammer fist right between the shoulders. There, boom. That's thundering hammers. That's not the whole thing. There's one more step to it as we start our cover out, as we start our escape. You're still kind of to the side. It would make more sense to escape this way, to get away from our opponent. But we're going to escape to 6 o'clock. So the There's one more step to it. Inward block, boom, big forearm, bend them over, big hammer fist, check, big hammer fist down, dropping into the close kneel every time. Then I'm going to step back here. They're still tabletop. My right arm's going to orbit, and I'm going to downward back fist strike. Seen this like our hanging punch right out of that first Kung Fu form, the Gong Gong Kyun, hitting down into the back of the head. Now be careful as you do this. Small bones in the back of the hand don't do well with a hard back fist into the skull. Skull's the hardest part of the head, right? So as I do this back fist, we want to catch kind of the top of the neck, get that soft spot of the head. Don't be catching up here where it's hard. You want to come here more along the lines of where the ears are. There. So you've got to drop into it a little bit. You've got to be a little bit deeper on that. Don't catch the top of the skull, the back of your hand. You will have a broken hand as a result here. So the last part of the thundering hammers is this kind of almost a hanging punch action that's happening to the back of the head. Boom! Hitting there. And then after that strike happens, we'll full cover out to 6 o'clock there, because that changes our line of exit. So thundering hammers again, inward block, forearm, clothesline, bend them over, big hammer fist to the back, close kneel, check, big hammer fist to the back, I step back, looping, downward hammering back fist to the back of his head, and then from there, we're going to do a full cover out to 6 o'clock. One more time, thundering hammers.